Quite a while, and if you're too tired to clap your hands, just holler hoy hoy with us, all right? Everybody, let's practice right now. 1, 2, 3. Hoy! Good. After a while, I'll tell you what's good holler. We got a bunch of hoy hoy people around here. I'm glad to see Larry Sasser, my friend, Wimpy. Good to see you, old buddy, Herby. Boy, did I ever enjoy hearing Harold Flynn play. That's my kind of carrying on. And we're going to try to, he made me feel like I'm 110 years old. I'm up to 67, thank you, sir. And speaking of the age thing, before you leave here today, we got a notebook back there, our table back there against the wall. They're going to do a story of my life, 52 years in show business, all the 25 years of Eddie Arnold, the George Morgan thing, and getting Laurie Morgan started. A lot of people don't know that. She was 15 years old when George passed away, and he wanted her to be where she is today, sitting right flat on top of the world. So we got a job at the Roadway Inn in Nashville, Tennessee, across the street from Opry Hotel on Sunday night from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, so that she could practice her singing, learn, so to speak. Of course, her daddy. Don't get me wrong, friends, I can't sing a note. I didn't teach her a note of how to sing. Her daddy did that. Was one of the greatest singers that ever was. And, but we did that for 3 years so she could have a place to practice the work she had to sing in front of folks. And she's doing really well. Up to about $150,000 a day, I think. So evidently she learned. And speaking of that, let's do her daddy's song. It's in the key of E for those who have their instruments with them. And I'm going to do it. I tell you why I'm going to do it. I look over this audience tonight today. I see a bunch of pretty women out there. It's called You Turn Me On. Good friends out here today. It's been a while since I've been here, a year I guess. But anyway, my friends Don Hammond, his wife Janice, live here. For you folks that don't know, they're the mother and father of Donna Hammond, a girl steel guitar player out of the Squirrel. And they're from over in Knoxville. This is their favorite, one of their favorite songs anyway. They want me to play it all the time. And I just dearly love to because this is my favorite song. Gentlemen's in the key of D. It's a waltz tempo. Very slow and very quiet. It's called The Last Letter. play without crying. George Morgan, as you must know, was my favorite singer of all time. My present good singer I like was Vince Gill right now, and the steel guitar player was John Hewitt. And when the first steel guitar, of course, I've heard lately is Look at Us on Vince Gill's record. And when he went high on the neck, I said, wait a minute, he's thinking like the old man here. He's thinking commercially. He's not trying to impress another steel guitar player. He's trying to think about making a living and so forth. And I said, he's thinking like I do. And sure enough, about 3 or 4 days after that, there was a Steel Guitar magazine. They come in where they had interviewed John, and he said in there that I was his idol. This pleased me very much. And when he come to play with Vince at Dollywood, he come by the store, and he said, I remember something that you said a long time ago, that other people might continually, they might can hit the same notes, but they don't have Little Roy Wiggins' heart. And he does play from the heart. And also, to be happy to know about this, I don't think you really know anybody unless you work for them or borrow money from them. And I've done both, to be honest. So I asked John when he was in the store, I said, John, Vince seems to be an awful nice guy, is he? I knew he would know since he's with him every day. He said, yeah. And about 100% more than what you see in the impression that he leaves on me. So I was happy to know that my favorite singer is also a good person. And I think that's far greater than being a great singer, great steel guitar player, great anything. Be a great person first. Amen? Hoy, hoy. Okay. Let's do a little bit of Candy Kisses in the key of C. Ready? All right. so young you don't remember that song. That was We Could, written by Bootload Police Bryant. And you probably remember another little fellow that sang it, Little Jimmy Dickens. What a singer he is. What an actor he is, too. He and George Martin staged a fight one time. Everybody thought it turned into a real one. But anyway, speaking of that, things like that, I'm in the process of writing a book. I'm not writing it myself, but I got to feed the information to the writer. And it's going to take us about 2 years to do it, because I've been in this business 52 years. And you can't write 52 years in an hour and a half, friends. And it's going to be some funny stuff in it. It's going to be some awful truthful stuff. Got some of your favorite singers, maybe. And some of it's going to be very funny, and some of it's going to be kind of sad. But it'll take us about 2 years to do it. And if you're interested in finding out when the book comes out, we've got a notebook out there at our table. And if you go back and put it when we get through, of course, don't leave now. It's not that good. But anyway, put your name and address in there just so that we can notify you when the book comes out. It'll be about 2 years. There's some awful funny George Morton stories in there. And so, I'll tell you one thing about Hank Williams here. There's all about Bill Monroe and Hank Williams, a bunch of my friends, you know. So, anyway, you probably don't know this. You all know the hymn, I Saw the Light. Hank Williams wrote it. You know where it comes from? They were riding along one night about 3 o'clock in the morning, just about out of gas. Don may have told the story, I don't know. Anyway, they were just running on fumes, and one of the boys in the band said, I saw the light. He's talking about the light to a filling station. And that's what Hank wrote that down and wrote to this day, he still makes about $1 million a year. And he's been dead since New Year's Day, 1953. And I'm sure y'all enjoyed seeing Don Hams down here. What, about 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever it was, one of my favorite steel guitar players in this whole world was Don Hams. And he played Cold Heart, and anybody like, get the Q8. Yeah, little Hank Williams wrote some beautiful, beautiful songs. Before I forget, I got something else to tell you. Next Friday night we'll be in Honea Path, South Carolina. That's in the neighborhood I know, over there with Jack. Then Saturday night we'll be at Hartwell, Georgia. And with me will be my 13-year-old daughter, Karen, Mama Faye, and Christy. Mama's substitute school teacher, she's got to work that day, and Christy's got a big test. So they'll be home, but my 13-year-old daughter will be there to sing and follow for you. And I've got several of you know the Country Earl see us, so they're having hoy hoy. We're there the second week of every January. In fact, I'm fixing to call that man in just a little bit and get to the phone and tell him I'll be listening to him tonight. So y'all be sure to tune in to Country Earl, 8 o'clock tonight, 92.5 on the FM dial. You'll hear one of the best disc jockeys and some of the best music in the whole entire world. Oh, okay, here comes the song that all the steel guitar players hate to play it, because I have to play it all the time. I have to play it every night for 25 years. I got sick and tired of it, friends. I finally figured out a silly way to play it. Second time I go through, it's going to sound like a chicken crawled up in this guitar or somebody spit tobacco on it. Anyway, can y'all stand the steel guitar rag one more time? Can you? Now that won't get it, friends. I got to have a hoy hoy. Thank y'all very much. Oh, speaking of this, Gary Davis over here, I've already told you he's Herb's son-in-law. Less than a year. Make Herbie be good to you. He makes a lot of money, so get some money off your father-in-law. Gary worked with me over at the Coliseum there in Pigeon Forge. He's still there. I quit about 3 or 4 weeks before the show ended, so I will not be at the Coliseum this year. And I'll be at my store this year. We're going to concentrate on my music store. And as right as you leave, so here we're going to the Pigeon Forge. I invite each and every one of you to come see me. We're going to concentrate on the store and the writing of that book. And hopefully next year we'll have our own show. I've got some big dreams. And I think the good Lord's been awful good to me lately, and I think He's going to let me have my own show. So I'm looking forward to that. I guess we better. Some of you don't know that I spent 25 years with Eddie Arnold and almost worked into a regular job. Come close. Come close. By the way, you folks remember Eddie Arnold's theme song, the cattle call, the one where he yodel. You remember, Don? You know, the yodel thing. And you people, Buddy Walker has told me that the smartest people on earth come right here to this Steel Guitar Convention to see the show. And I said, Buddy, I believe you, son, but I got a test. I got to pull a little test on it. I want to see if you folks can figure out how come RCA Victor Records wanted Eddie Arnold to sing the cattle call instead of me. Okay. You're right, buddy. They're pretty smart. Didn't take them long at all. Let's go back to May the 18th, 1947 in the key of E, for those who want to play this with me. And the reason I remember this song, when we recorded and so forth, my children, I could explain Hoy Hoy to you. This will do it right here. My children, folks, I have a daughter that's 46 years old. I have a son that's 40 years old. I have a daughter that's 13 years old. I have a daughter that's 11 years old. Now you know what Hoy Hoy is all about. As a matter of fact, it was like one day being 35 years between my first daughter and my last daughter. May the 18th, 1947, in the city of Chicago, 9 o'clock one Sunday morning, Eddie Arnold, I walked into the studio and recorded this song right here, I'll Hold You in My Heart. But before we did that, Eddie's wife Sally called me, and my first daughter had been born. And I said, she got 5 fingers and 5 toes. She said, yeah, everything's fine, and Mama's fine. And we went in and recorded this song right here, I'll Hold You in My Heart. you like that one so well, we'll do another one, Eddie Arnold song. And I'm getting close to the end of my routine here, so whoever's next can get ready. I'm going to do this song and one more. And whoever wants to set up, whoever next can be doing that. But I'm going to do Eddie Arnold's biggest song. And I'll tell you what he and I used to call it. We called it Big Old Bucket of Hog Livers. And other people called it Bouquet of Roses. I've got a hymn I want to play for you. Harold's already played it, but I'm going to play it again. The reason why I am happens to be one of my favorite hymns. It was Eddie Arnold's, was George Morgan's favorite hymn. It is Eddie Arnold's and my favorite hymn. Who at my door is standing. But before I play it, we'll do the quick little theme song and Elvis after that. But come on back to the table back there. We got some tapes, some caps, some t-shirts. I've already signed that one. Stand up, young ladies. Turn around like this. See where I signed it? Hoy hoy. Anyway, we got caps and t-shirts and about 3 different cassettes back there. And also be sure to sign the book so I can let you know when the book we write comes out in a couple of years from now. Okay, my favorite hymn is Who at My Door is Standing. Errol, thank you for playing it a while ago. And here it comes one more time, the key of E. Here, remember I got the first part of it by myself.
that business. All I could find out a while ago, one was 46-year-old and one was 11-year-old. And if hoy hoy's got anything to do with it, let's me and you talk back there in a few minutes. All right, I'd like to know a little more about hoy hoy.
Need some hoy hoy instructions, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd like to have a little bit more hoy hoy instructions.
I'll help you with it. I'll explain those birds and bees.
Any of you old codgers want to get back there with me, we'll just go back and have a session.